what advice would you give someone like Emerald or below in solo queue if they wanted to seriously like start improving and hit diamond? If you ever wanted to hear advice on how to climb in solo queue from the best support in North America, stick around and check out this interview I just did with the NA GOAT Busio. We chat about his approach to improvement, how to get the most out of solo queue even when losing, how he manages burnout, and even his secret workout routine responsible for all the Twitter thirst traps. If you enjoy this type of content, subscribe, join my Discord, link in bio, and comment who you'd like me to interview next. Bonjour. Comment ça va?
Oui, oui.
Oui, oui.
Ça va bien.
Ça va bien. Hey.
Yeah.
Comment allez-vous?
I don't know what that means.
It's like I think it's like
I took French in high school,
yeah.
but I forgot everything.
Yeah.
I'm cooked.
You see, I also took French in high school, but that was maybe 17 years ago. So that's
Well, you know more than me, so that's impressive.
Quite a bit. Well, every team I've coached in the past like 2 years has had at least one French player on it, either like French Canadian or actual French. So I pick up a little bit here and there. But yeah, I mean, are you planning on brushing up on your French a little bit now that you're allegedly going to Karmine Corp? Not confirmed.
Well, I'd just be brushing up on my French anyways, you know, because I know English. My Polish is decent, not amazing. Should also probably get back into that. But I did take French in high school, so I don't want to lose it. So I gotta use it more. I gotta find a way.
Oh, I hear you. I took Japanese in college, French in high school. I know like 5 words in Polish. They're all dog commands. So that's about it.
Is it because your dog's Polish?
No, I got a buddy. He's not really my buddy. He's like 70 years old, but he's a friend of mine. Like actually 70 years old. He's a retired anesthesiologist, and he is Polish as you can be. Like, so he trained his dog in Polish, and then he's like, "Dobry pies, chodź." Shot. I'm basically fluent now. That's good. Yeah, I mean, do your parents? Because like your parents are Polish born. Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Do they speak exclusively English in the house then, or is there any Polish that they speak to each other?
To each other, they'll sometimes use Polish, but at this point, I think it's mainly English, to be honest.
That's fair. I mean, dude, it's tough to keep up with all that. Like, you lead a very busy life, I'd imagine. Not a lot of time for language study.
Yeah.
Have you had to pick up any Korean or Chinese in your travels? Or?
Just like hello and thank you, just the basics.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, kamsahamnida. Is that how it goes? Of course.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of questions here, and you can feel free to answer as in depth as you'd like. But when you were like a high diamond Katarina one trick, and that's kind of where everything started for you. Not obviously with like meeting me, but like that's you didn't like spawn out the womb as a pro player. So I guess my question for you is, was there like a specific thing that kind of jump started your improvement? Because one second you were diamond like low masters, and then you were perma challenger playing pro like overnight, it felt like.
Yeah, let me think. I mean, I wouldn't say there's one thing in specific. I think it just got more and more I got more and more conscious with my improvement as I kept playing the game. Like even when I was quite young, my dad let me play League more than other games because of the competitive aspect to it and like ranking up, and like having to actually like evaluate your gameplay and try to do better. So it was just a more like active game for your brain, I guess. So I would say I got to diamond. I mean, I started in bronze when I was 8 or whatever. I was bronze.
Yeah.
It was a long way up. And it's just kind of the same thing. Just like play the game, think about what you can do better. But I didn't really have a system to it. And then I'd say once I got probably like diamond and whatnot, at least back then, the gap between diamond 4 and diamond 1 was huge. Like diamond 1 was already considered high elo. So that's probably when I started like watching a lot of YouTube videos, maybe streams, just trying to soak in the information. And then, like I probably watch a Red Mercy video that's like, what is a one trick? One tricks are good for climbing because you just need to play one champion and you can get really good on that champion. I'm like, interesting. So then I started one tricking Katarina, and then I got to Masters when I was 13, and then Challenger when I was 15. And then once I was 15, I think I swapped to a mid laner, and then I found Gunaso. I don't know if Gunaso found me while I was at Cat one trick or after I swapped. I honestly don't remember. But For the people watching that don't know who Ganasso is, you should know who Ganasso is, right, Buck?
Of course. Yeah.
um, he played like one split or something in uh he's Portuguese in the, I believe, Portuguese tier 2 league,
Yeah.
and
LP
that didn't work
lol.
out, but he
Yeah.
okay, yeah. But he wanted to become a coach, so he was my personal mid lane coach to help me become, I guess, like a high challenger, amateur, approaching pro level mid laner, because I was just a Katarina one trick. And he made it way more serious. You know, we had like, we were tracking goals, we were tracking CS numbers, we had the spreadsheets and everything. It was very serious. We were doing some mindfulness exercises, you know, like we were doing it all. And I would say that's probably like the first step, or I guess second step, to really take it to the next level in terms of like being serious about improvement. Because, you know, that's a lot more effort than just hopping on the game. Obviously, what I did previously the whole time, that was still like active, but this is another step higher. Um,
Sure.
so yeah, and then it just keeps going until I go pro. You know, it just keeps going one step higher. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I remember, so like putting you through the ropes. He had the Alan, watch your mini map. It was a like a 30-minute long recording that he did where every 7 seconds he'd say mini map. That's good. That's good. So,
It was good. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I've been farming, by the way. I've been farming championship rings like LeBron in Portuguese, that tier 2 ERL league for the past like 2
Okay,
years. So
you're him. You're
I'm
him.
basically him. But yeah, I think Ganassa was, I don't know, dude, if he was just inspired by an act of God or saw like your Latin potential, but I'm pretty sure he dumped in like hundreds of hours completely
Yeah.
free of charge to just try and help, which I think is really cool. But like, let's say Ganasso didn't come around, and if you could right now go back in time and talk to that rookie pre-polar ace Busio and give him like one piece of advice, like what do you think that would be?
Oof. One piece of advice.
My dog's
I
trying to
would
say hi.
say. Oh, hello. Oh, that's so cute.
Sorry, yeah.
I would say maybe something like, keep your improvement simple. You know what I mean? Because I think it's easy to get caught up with like rewatching your game and looking at too many specific situations and trying to take too many specific takeaways. But I would say the best way to get better is focus on the fundamentals and the basics, because they keep reoccurring in every single game. So, for example, like something I did put a lot of focus in, but if I didn't have Ganasso, I would still like to put a lot of focus into this, would be something like CSing as a mid laner. Just be
Hmm.
very, very focused on your CS and make it like such a habit to where you CS well without having to think too much, and then build onto the next thing. Or another one for me, this one's a little bit more specific, but still the same thing that applies in every game. Timing people's sums. I was doing that as a mid laner because this was probably when Doimby just won Worlds, and he was known for, you know, he's timing sums. Oh
Sure.
my god, he's timing subs mid team fight. He's insane. You know,
Yeah.
that was the hype at the time, and it's helpful, and it's people sometimes message me. I think you've even messaged me like, how do you get somebody to get in the habit of timing sums? It's actually very simple, but it's not necessarily fast. You don't really have to put much thought into it. Just get like a recording saying time the sums, and it goes off every minute in the game. You know, that's something you can do. That's what I did with the mini map. Or just have a little Discord server, and every single time you're in loading screen or champ select, check your goals for today. Make it 1 or 2 or 3 goals, and don't swap them every day. Make sure they're habits, and then once they're habits, you can go to the next one. So, you know, if it's timing sums or using F keys or something,
Sure.
just really focus on that until it's a habit, and you add that, and then you add the next thing, and you add the next thing, and that's how you build yourself as a player. And yeah, that's why it's important. You want to build those habits, which are actually fundamental to the game, and keep reoccurring. Otherwise, it's just not worth it to put too much effort into something that might only happen sometimes.
Yeah, but I think that's like just to piggyback off of that, not to derail it too much. I think that's something that a lot of players kind of get stuck going down the rabbit hole of. It's not like fun, it's not super cool to focus on the same thing for a lot of the time. Like they want to like get into the nitty-gritty of like, oh, if I just hit this skill shot in this fight, like, oh dude, I can win this and I just need to click better
Yeah,
here. It's like, yeah, like sure, but the replicability of something and getting that foundation I think is really important. So I'm glad you said that. Um
yeah,
Cool. Switching gears just a little bit. Um, Not trying to put like too much of your business out here, but I would say, and maybe you would agree with me, that you are fortunate that your family is pretty supportive of your career in pro. because there's accounts named Busio Dad, Busio Sister BF. So very like notorious accounts here.
Yeah.
How does you being a player impact your relationships with like your family and friends? And what do you like personally do to maintain those relationships?
Mm, I mean, as you said, yeah, I am fortunate that my parents are in the know. They're in the know. They know what's going on, so they've always been very supportive. And then for like maintaining the relationships, I don't know. I'm of the belief that you don't have to play every waking hour all the time. Um, yeah, I actually think there's diminishing returns at some point. You don't want to play too much, or maybe it's different from person to person. But at least when I'm at a boot camp in Korea or something, and especially some boot camps I've done like without my team, and I'm not scrimming, I'm just playing solo queue. If you play the whole day, you're going to start playing worse, and then you actually develop bad habits. So you don't want to do that. I think it's more important to just really focus on the games you do play. If it's 3 ranked games, sure. If it's 5, even better. It depends what server you're on. If you're on an A and you're high low, the queue times are quite long. Already like a 5-game session, I would consider quite a long session. If you're being active in those games and really like pushing yourself and really being intense about your gameplay and forcing those new habits upon yourself, that's plenty. I don't think you have to do much more. Um, I honestly don't think so. So like keeping your relationships with people and doing like other like normal people things is completely fine, and I don't think it's taking away. You don't have to sacrifice everything to
Sure.
improve or be pro. I don't think I did, and it's working well for me. Maybe everybody's different, but that's just speaking from my experience.
Yeah. Like, do you like have regular calls where you like, because you're gone from where your parents live because you're in LA for the regular season, or you were like, do you go home and visit quite frequently? Do you like call them, or like how do you like what do you do to maintain that relationship?
Yeah, we call, text. I play errands with my dad sometimes, and yeah, I go home and visit them anytime I have a long enough break to do so.
Oh, I mean, I it's a benign question, but I think it's something that I struggle with personally when I like get really intensely involved. Is I kind of neglect my friends and family a little bit more than I'd like. So I think it's good to
I
hear
see.
that even someone as what is it successful as yourself has found a way to make it work, which is good. All right,
Yeah.
switching veins again. I want you to tell me, or maybe tell the fans, tell me about carrots in the sun. What's that about?
Carrots in the sun? Well, this is just a standard activity for
Standard.
somebody in the LA lifestyle. I think I was on 100 Thieves Academy at the time, and the academy apartments we had a very nice, like a shared community rooftop.
Mhm.
It had a pool. It had little like outdoor fire pit areas, nice seats. And on my off day, I'm not gonna stay in my dark room
Of course not.
with
Diminishing
blackout curtains.
returns. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Diminishing returns. You need to do something else so then you get passion for the game again. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's actually optimal to take a break. It's not you being lazy and you're rewarding yourself. No, it's actually the opposite. If you don't take your break, that's being stupid. Take your break to go do something else. Um, yeah, I'm not a scientist, so I don't actually know what I'm talking about, but there's probably some science to back me up there.
Probably.
That's just
Yeah.
how humans are. Um, so I was just in the sun eating some carrots. Not sure why it was carrots, but like carrots and sun just go together.
Just
The
go
carrots are
together.
orange, the sun is yellow or orange.
Yeah. Very good.
Um, depending on how you see color. So it was just the vibe at the time. It was my I guess ritual. It was my off day ritual at the time.
Sure. Sure. And reading a book or two as well, or just
Of
just
course, yeah.
books.
I was reading way more back then, but these recent years in LA, the past two, I've had a car. So on my off days, I've been doing more exciting things than just reading my book in the sun. So yeah.
Okay. I mean, so like what you're saying is back then you were kind of maybe not forced, but like that was one of the limited ways that you could take a break from the grind. And now that you have more options available, also, I mean, I don't think LA is a very walkable city, but so having a car is necessary. Um,
Yeah.
and I also noticed that you're a pretty buff fella as of recent, right?
Okay.
You got some
Oh, thank you.
your Twitter thirst traps are showing some solid gains.
Okay.
Um, when'd you kind of start doing that working out thing? How's that going?
Yeah, I think I got into it right before I went to LA for the first time. So before I was signed to the academy team, but I haven't yet gone to LA, and I had like some time off. Maybe it was like the holiday break, and me and my friend David the guy, we were hitting up the gym.
Everyone knows
Um,
David. Yeah.
Everybody knows David the guy. we hit up the gym, and he just kind of introduced me, and I'm like, this is kind of fun. And then in the 100 Thieves Academy apartment, there was a little gym. It wasn't very large, but it also rarely had people in it, and I would just go, I think, every other day is what I did. My program was quite basic. I believe at the time we also had a personal trainer or PT on 100 Thieves, and or I guess he did both. And some days he'd come in and like help me out, teach me everything. So I think through my 100 Thieves times, because they always had some sort of PT or trainer on their
Mhm.
org, I just kind of absorbed the info, understand everything, and then it kind of stuck with me, and it just became a habit. I would say it's just kind of nice in like a day of not doing much physical activity, just to do something physical. It just
Sure.
uh, it just feels good, and it's honestly fun. Like it's refreshing. You just put in some headphones, listen to music. It's kind of like a relaxing time. The gym is honestly relaxing for
Okay.
me. And but then I also of course had like the goal of like going very often, and then at that point it became such a habit to where when I didn't go to the gym, I'd like feel a little bit off. It felt like something was missing in my day. So
Mhm.
maybe at that point it became too far. Like that's kind of a negative. So um yeah, that's something I guess people could watch out for. If you don't
Sure.
go to the gym, don't make it feel like don't feel guilty, or don't feel like you're ruining your day. But overall it was a big positive for me.
Nice. What's your split looking like right now?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for the longest time, I was just doing push pull legs or like some push pull legs, upper lower. But recently, I've been prowling shoulders, so I have shoulder day.
A whole
Um,
day just for shoulders. Okay.
whole day just for shoulders. That's how you know it's serious.
That's crazy. So
It's
walk me
the
through it.
one of the
Walk
most
me through
important
it.
muscles. What's in shoulder day? Yeah, what's in shoulder day is on the cables I do lateral raises
Okay.
with rather than holding the what are they
You
called?
hold the,
The
the the cable itself or whatever or what?
No, even instead of doing that, I have the sleeve attachment, the Velcro one. So I put my
Oh,
wrist through and I like do that instead of having to grab something, because something about like some trainer at the gym told me, and I'm like, that sounds all right. And I tried it out, feels pretty good, so that I incorporated that. And then I do shoulder overhead press, and then I do rear delt movement either on cables or on the reverse pec deck rear
you
delt
do
fly
like
machine if that's
face
available.
pulls or what do you do for your
For rear delt,
yeah,
just like one of these
got it. Okay.
at like the slight angle, or I'll do it on the uh, rear delt fly
Sure.
machine. But I usually do like one arm at a time. It's optimal according to TikTok. So
Optimal. I mean,
yeah,
TikTok doctors have got you covered here. So,
they got you covered. And then it's push day or pull day.
well, you don't do
Um,
shrugs, you don't do like farmers carries, you don't do none of that?
no,
Okay. I mean, dude,
no,
like what about your
I go.
traps and is that not part of your shoulder
That's
kinda?
okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure the traps get worked through other exercises. Probably shoulder overhead press works your traps
Okay.
as well. I'm not sure though.
Probably.
Um, Also, yeah, I don't think traps are that important.
They make you
It's
look
much more.
big.
Yeah, yeah, but that's not like the vibe I'm going for. I'm not like a big scary guy. You know, I don't really have that going right now. Maybe when I'm older, then I gotta prod the traps.
There you go. Okay, fair.
um, yeah, and then I do, I guess, push day, and then I'll just do some incline uh chest press. I do it with plated machine. Um, and then I'll do pec flies on the pec deck. Or if that's taken, because the pec deck is always taken, then I'll just do it with cables.
Sure.
Yeah, those are my two chest exercises, and then I do triceps, just a rope pull down, push down, whatever it's called, and then the behind the head one, over the
Short head
head.
and long head. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you know it. And that is basically, I think, my whole push day. Yeah, because I did shoulders on shoulder day. And also at the end of each day, like I'll do abs or like some wrist exercises. Like at the end of my main workout, I'll just do some supplementary exercises that like are important at the time, or I'll do like something for my posture or something if I have to stretch.
Sure.
But that kind of rotates often depending on what I feel I need. But usually it's like every other day abs is reoccurring, and then push or pull day, and I'll do two lat exercises, usually just overhead pull down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll do some rows on the row machine.
Like David
And
in
then
in his honor.
yeah, yeah, rowing for
Yeah.
David.
Yeah.
And then for biceps, I do preacher curls, and then I'll do some Nuke Duck showed me this one. I like get on the bench, and then I recline it a lot, and then I just do hammer curls because that hits some other head or something. I don't
Oh
really know.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
look
yeah,
into it.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know
Yeah.
exactly.
So
I
I
like
do.
those a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do those two. Like pre curls is probably my favorite exercise to do in the gym. Period. It's just so intense. It's so good. Also, like I would say I go pretty hard at the gym. Like I do long rests, so I'll go like 3 to 5 minutes if needed in between sets. But every single set, except maybe the first one, I'm going to like my
Almost failure.
limit to my failure. Yeah, I mean, I would say to failure because I even do like I do drop sets almost every single
Every set
set.
is a drop set. Okay, damn.
Yeah, yes.
That's
I
why
mean,
you got the gains.
yeah, but then I take the 3 to 5 minute breaks. So yeah, that's just what works for me. I don't know if that's optimal, but it feels like it works and it makes sense in my head because to my understanding, the muscle grows when it like feels the need to grow. So if you go really, really hard, then it's gonna feel the need to grow. Um,
Sure.
you know, it's just tactics.
It's working, and as long as you're not like injuring yourself, right? Like you haven't gotten snapped up or anything, right?
I've had no injuries, and I also don't really get sore, which is surprising. I only get sore if I take a break from the gym. Like I haven't been going to the gym for like a month or two. Honestly, I've been taking a long break because I have like a short off season, so I'm just gonna relax. Um, so right now, if I went to the gym, I'd be sore for sure. But
Sure.
like even like when I'm in routine, I don't get sore at all, even if I go very hard. So I
Yeah.
don't know, it just works for me.
I'm the same way,
Um,
honestly.
okay, yeah, and then leg day, uh, just like a whole bunch of whatever, you know.
Just a whole whatever's
It's
open,
just
right?
it's just whatever machines are open. Usually some usually leg press is my
Mhm.
compound one because I don't really feel like squatting. That's way too much work. Um, it's way too much work. I'll do like hack squats, you know, but
Sure.
like for real squats, no way. Like
Yeah, yeah.
you got to be out of your mind. I know you're doing that probably because
No, 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 no.
really.
I do Bulgarian split squats.
Mm,
You know what those are?
mm,
Oh my
yeah.
god, dude. The most humbling exercise ever. My dog is very is joining for the interview right now. She's a big fan. But
Yeah,
yeah,
my cat
those
is scratching on the door trying to leave.
is that blue or silver?
It's blue, but she's
Okay.
not allowed to leave because she fights with the other cat. So
We're not
she's
gonna do
stuck in
this.
our.
Okay, that's good. But do you feel like the gym is like good for your in-game performance as well, or is it just kind of something you do because you like it?
I would say like inside the game, it doesn't matter, but it's more like of just enjoying your day and having a nice break in your day that also is rewarding and like it
Mhm.
gives you something to think about and care about other than league. And I just it's quite nice to have something else, you know,
Yeah,
to look forward to and whatnot. So yeah, it's
I
more of
hear
a
you.
mental thing. Yeah.
I hear you. I think the day kind of blends together if I just like wake up and then get on the computer all day, even if I'm not playing League, if I'm playing like a Rust wipe with the boys, and
Yeah.
then I just go to bed, it's like, what did I do, man?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
gets me out of the house, which is good. Okay. All right, I got a couple more questions that are more geared to like actual game stuff. So we're gonna swap the topics a little bit. All right.
Okay.
You're notorious for being someone who never surrenders in solo queue. Never. Why?
Yeah. Cause Ganasa, another
Oh
Ganasa name
man.
dropped a legendary quote of all time.
Okay.
Like when I was climbing in solo queue, of course it's easier to say it now, but like I understand why people tilt in solo queue because if you're not like a pro and solo queue is all you have, then every game feels so important and you really want to win, so you tilt. So I was like that at one point. Um, and Ganassi dropped a quote like, "Why are you unhappy when you're losing? Because you're gonna lose roughly half your games, so you shouldn't be unhappy losing, or you're not gonna enjoy the game." It's like, wait, you're so right. So like, even when I'm in a losing state, I'm still enjoying the game. There's still skill shots to land. There's still other things you can practice. There's still you can still understand champs damage. There's this like passive information you can take in. Of course, generally a more even game state you learn more in, but you can still learn something while behind, and you can honestly still win the game, guys. It's solo queue. Like if somebody on the enemy team ints or you make a crazy play, a little bush pick, even if they're up a lot of gold, killing one person instantly and getting a shutdown can bring you back in the game for sure. So yeah, I don't surrender for that reason, and I'm also not very negative when I'm losing because yeah, it just doesn't affect me like that. Even like the other day, I was playing solo queue, and there's like pros in my lobby, and they tilt when we're losing the solo queue, and I just can't really understand it. It's like you're a pro. This solo queue game is not to win, bro.
It's
Your
so
rank
not
does not
classy.
matter. It's
Yeah.
so not. Your rank does not matter. Rank one players go into the LCS, and it doesn't go very well because solo queue is just different than pro. It's really not that important to show you have a high rank. GMs should understand that, and if they don't, that's a problem on their end. Your rank does not matter much. just play the game to improve and learn something new about your champion, or improve on a champion you don't play, or try different builds. Just use the solo queue as a tool. It's really not that important to win. So because of that, I'm not tilting. And it just makes the solo queue experience really good. And I'm always down to keep queuing up because I'm not really tilting like that. Or even the other day, like some pro in the lobby said, like he got ganked by their jungler and he types in chat, "This is so boring." Huh? What do you mean this is boring? We're playing the solo queue game to either win, if you need the LP, or to improve and learn. Like you don't, it's not, I don't know. So like, I just think having an important, I would actually say it's important to have a good solo queue mindset when you're amateur, upcoming pro, or pro, because it's a great tool and you just have to use it well. If you don't use it well, you're actually just going to tilt yourself. So it's not good. So you have to really catch yourself when you're slipping.
Yeah. I think it's not easier said than done, but I do think like a lot of people have been like brain poisoned where it's just like, oh, GG, like I got ganked, I died, and this game's useless. I'm not going to learn anything. The enemy team is too fed. So yeah, no, I think setting that expectation that you said, or sorry, that Ganasso said, where dude, like you're going to lose. It's inevitable. And if you hate losing, you're going to hate literally half the time you spend playing the game.
Yeah.
Like, that
exactly.
just sounds miserable. So yeah. Okay. No, that's great advice.
He's so wise, right?
He was ahead of his time, bro. Like that's crazy.
He was ahead of his time.
Yeah. Then okay. So that no FF mentality that you have, how do you handle that in like a team practice environment where I know like I've been on teams before and people like, oh, we invade level 1 and we go 0-5 get wiped or whatever, and we want to remake. What's your stance on that, or how do you kind of reconcile that with your teammates who want to surrender?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. You can surrender. Um, if the game state is so unrealistic or so unwinnable, then especially in the team environment, it makes sense to hit a little remake and practice. Again, what I was talking about earlier about how to improve is you want to practice the reoccurring things in the game the most. That's where you want most of your practice because it just gives you the highest ROI on improvement. So
expected value ROI. Yes.
Yeah, the EV. Just don't want to waste too much time playing an unrealistic game state. At the same time, there should be some balance. There will be stage games that something tragic will happen, and it's important to be able to have some creativity and playing from behind. But most of the time, it's much better to just reset and play the matchup from an even game state. So yeah, in a team environment, completely down to remake. It makes way more sense. But in solo queue, like the insta FFing, it just doesn't really make sense because you're not. Solo queues is so different, and a lot of the time you're practicing mechanics, and you can still win or make a comeback play and get back to a more even game state. And also, even if you like FF the game to go next for improvement in a solo queue game, within like 2 minutes, the solo queue game is already so different from a pro game that you're not getting that like again default game state that would be reoccurring in a pro game. It's just not happening in solo queue most of the time. So I just don't think it's worth it to have the mindset. Something went wrong, FF, let's go next. Because the second you also give yourself an out to FF, if something goes wrong, you stop thinking about the game. You're thinking about FFing and just negative thoughts are filling you, but instead you can just still be focused on the game and doing the best you can. So it's very different between pro and solo queue for that kind of mindset, I would say.
I mean, that's interesting though. I would have thought you would have been more like, no, like I can still learn, we can still play the game, but I think maybe that more controlled team environment where maybe the difference is when you remake, the coach can go yell at the player like, why are you making things so volatile every game? So we have to remake all the time. Just have the coach whip some sense into these young
for
punks.
sure, guys. Yeah.
Oh man, that's something that I've had to not like struggle with, but no, I have a question on here that's in a similar vein where a lot of people say that like solo queue and competitive are two separate games. What's your opinion on that?
Oh, for sure. They're very, very different. What is my cat doing? My cat is playing with my necklace. Give me 1 second. Sorry.
Take your time, dude. Ponder it.
I'm pondering. Blue, what are you doing? Blue, what are you doing? Why are you so mad? Blue is so mad at me. She wants to leave the room so badly. Okay. We're back in business. The question was the difference or how different is solo queue and competitive?
Yeah.
I would just say infinitely different, It's like the same reason the rank 1 player doesn't go in and just smurfs in the LCS because the most important thing is team play, honestly, and how you can understand the team play. And again, these more controlled situations where everybody's playing better. Because a player can be rank 1 in solo queue because they thrive in chaos or they thrive at exploiting the enemy laner's lack of understanding. But in a pro environment, the play is just much higher, so you can't exploit the lack of understanding as much. And also, the enemies are all on comms, so that just makes it an infinitely different game. Wait one sec. Okay, I'm back. Do you want me to restart the answer, or
No, no,
you're
no.
gonna do some
I'll
cutting
just
tactics?
I'll do some editing. Yeah,
You'll do some editing in post.
yeah.
Um, yeah. I mean, I was kind of yapping there. Do you have like a more? Do you have a follow up or anything?
Well, yeah, it's kind of like I've asked people this before, and some people are like, no, solo queue and competitive, like it's the same game. It's not two separate games. You should use solo queue for training like different aspects of the game, like you mentioned. Like solo queue is great for personal accountability, for like map awareness, for mechanics, for champion mastery. And competitive, you're just adding in other variables. But you are more like
Hmm.
there's like the skills that are present are so drastically, different that like you can have the rank 1 player come in and play LCS, like it has happened a lot of time. Like Surdy came in and played, and back I just watched the Team Liquid Breaking Point documentary again today for just some reason on my long walk today, and they had like
Okay.
Arc Second, the Diana player way back in the day, come in and play LCS for Team Liquid, and he also didn't have a super good time.
I would say the largest overlap, at least for me, is like the first 5 minutes of the game. Like that's the thing I'm most focused on. I'm playing a champ, and I really want to make my first couple levels of the laning phase good, because that part I would say is the most similar to pro. Um, Even like my ADC, when I'm playing solo queue, is not on comms with me. We don't really have the same idea, but at least like my individual mechanics and like the basics of the lane that usually like a challenger ADC will be able to follow, those have good overlap with pro. So I get a lot of practice there, you know? Because I would say like a big focus of mine is like just the first round in your lane is very important in a pro game.
Mhm.
Especially, like when I'm at an international and I'm scrimming against Genji or T1 and I'm laning against their support, they're mechanically insane, and they actually do try to squeeze. They try to squeeze and have really good mechanics and get an advantage off that in your lane. So that's something that it's very important to be, I would say, sure about. Like I now have a really good idea of how I want to use my skill shots, how I want to dodge skill shots. And this is something usually coaches and people tell you not to focus on, because mechanics are mechanics. You can always hit the skill shot, you can always miss the skill shot. You can't really practice that as much. But I would say in the first round of lane, there are like small micro tactics that you can build habits in. I'll give you an example. Cast an auto attack and cancel it, to dodge a skill shot. That's a great way to bait out when the supports are 1v1ing, to bait out a skill shot. And that is something that is recreatable and practicable and you have to get good at. And on the flip side, be really good at not buffering your spell. Like let's say I'm playing Bard and I do auto Q. That's not good. The mindset, the way I want to think is auto, 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 and I throw Q when I see their attack animation go through. That way, I don't get my skill shots baited. Like those kind of small micro things are habits like I've identified, and now I can actually build those in solo queue just as well as I can in a scrim, if not easier, because I don't care that much about the outcome of the game. But when I load in that solo queue game, I really want to make sure that habit's good. So I find that quite useful, and there's a lot of overlap there and things you can practice. And then other than that, of course, like it is the same game. So like overall, like still like map awareness and things like that, or even team fighting. But it's like you can't rely on your team the same way you can in a competitive game. And also the enemies won't be doing the right thing most of the time. So you can get away with a lot of things that kind of make the game just feel
Mm,
less serious. So it's also important to hold yourself and think, is this something I do in the competitive game? And then you'll get even more out of solo queue. Treat it
sure.
like you're in a competitive game, and don't abuse the fact that it's solo queue and there's a lot of chaos and a lot of lower level players.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's great advice. What is it? Dress for the job you want, not the job you have. Right.
Exactly,
There you
exactly.
go. But then it's really hard for players who are improving, who might be like diamond masters, grandmasters, or even like a lot of the challenger players that I work with who haven't played, LCS or NACL. Not like NACL is like the peak of competitiveness, but like they don't get good data. Like they'll play a fight, they'll play it completely wrong. There'll not be a semicircle in sight. You know, we're just throwing random abilities, and then we win the fight. And okay, we played it well, we won. That's good, right? But
Mhm.
so it's kind of getting the idea of like you said, like testing things or like having an idea of like how you want the lane to play out, how you want the fight to play out, and then testing that hypothesis that auto instead of just like always looking to auto queue example that you gave. So, but no, like dude, you should be a pro player. You're a pretty smart guy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, okay.
Okay, based. Speaking of which, okay, this is more of a for fun question, but if you weren't a pro right now, what do you think you'd be doing with your life?
If I didn't become pro, I'd probably just have or will be graduating from some university with a comp sci degree, but that's not the field to be in right now. At least from talking to my friends, it
Oh,
looks
okay.
rough for them to get jobs because of AI, and also just a lot of people got into it at the same time. Uh, so it's quite hard to get jobs in that field, I would say right now. Um, so yeah, I kind of got a good situation going.
No kidding. Okay. I mean, um, and yeah, I'm not going to ask the question of like how long are you going to become a pro because you probably don't know that answer
Yeah,
here, but you know
yeah.
the world's going to change. You don't even know. Like you could tell me right now, like, hey, I still might go back to school when I'm done, but who knows what the world's going to look like? Who knows what the job market's going to look like, man?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
over here trying to
Nah, I
get
don't
in.
know.
I'm over here trying to get into LCS as a coach sometime either this year or next year. And I don't even know if LCS is going to be around in 2 years from now. We'll see.
No,
But
it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
yeah, we'll be paying like $1,000 a month salary. We're going to be back to season 2 wages in LCS when it's my turn in the spotlight. But all right, last question. And I like this is my obligatory. Like I have to ask this because of the type of content I do. But what advice would you give someone like Emerald or below in solo queue if they wanted to seriously like start improving and hit Diamond Blood?
Again, keep it simple. And the most important thing is to have some software to rewatch your games. You can't improve if you don't rewatch your games. You have to. You have to. It is mandatory. So I use Insights. It's some Overwolf app, Insights.
Okay.
It simply records your games and then you rewatch your game. So that's step one. You rewatch your game. You don't have to rewatch the whole game. For example, if you are focused on CSing better, watch through your laning phase and see why you're missing CS. See why you're getting good CS numbers. Like, because there's many aspects of it. Like when you recall, how you recall, that can influence your CS numbers. The actual like mechanics of like CSing when a wave is approaching your turret, how you're laning. If you have a goal of like improving on CS, watch everything related to it. And then what I personally do is I have a Discord and just write down the goals you have. And then in the next game, work on them and keep working on them until they're habits. That's the basis for it, and it's actually quite simple. Yeah,
Yeah. Keep it simple, guys. You heard the man. Okay,
keep it
that's
simple.
great. Well, thank you so much for your time. This is great. Is there any last words you'd like to say?
Yeah, you guys should subscribe to Box channel. Uh, Great videos, very informative. He has like the best teaching voice. Like the perfect
Oh,
voice for watching a video.
very good.
Like probably if I was making those videos, I'd be too annoying. Like you can't listen to my voice for that long. But yeah, Bach has good videos, so you guys should subscribe and watch. And
Very
also
good.
watch my stream. Watch my stream. Yeah.
When like what's
You'll
your
improve.
schedule? What's your schedule looking like for Twitch
What's my
streams?
schedule? Well, when the next season starts, I'll just be streaming every scrim day almost. Just
Okay.
yeah, in the evening,
All right.
daily.
All right, everyone. Make sure tune in twitch.tv/ is it Busio right now or Busio lol?
I think it's Busio. Busio.
Busio lol and drop your Twitch primes. Okay. See you guys.